Okay, now suppose alpha is the plane that passes through these points. Okay, suppose we don't know the exact solution. Let us just imagine how it looks like. Suppose this is the plane alpha, right? There are 3 points in this. Let us call it A, B, and C here, right? These points belong to this plane. And find a vector equation, parametric equation, and symmetric equations of the lines D that pass through the point P, 1, 2, 3. We don't know where the point P is, but suppose it is outside of the plane here. It passes through this and perpendicular to the plane alpha. It means that if in this picture, it should be like this, right? And it is perpendicular to this plane, okay? So suppose, because in this plane, ABC, it means that if we know this is the line D, right? In order to draw the vector of this, we need to know the directional vector and a given point. We are given the point, right? Now we need to find the directional vector. How can we find that vector? Yeah, so we see that the vector AB and the vector AC belong to the plane alpha, right? The product of this will be the vector which is perpendicular to these two vectors. It is also the normal vector of the plane, right? So if we can find, let us call it the vector n here. If we can find the vector n here, then this will be also the directional vector of this point P, right? Very nice. That is one way. Or you can pick up any other pair. For example, BA and BC. Cross product of them will give us the normal vector, right? It may be pointing up or pointing down depending on the position. But here, if suppose A, B, and C is this, it should follow the right-hand rules, right? From AB to AC, right? It should point up. So now our job is to find n here and then write the equation of the vector. This is clear, right? Now, since everything is clear, we can start solving this. So is the idea clear now? Okay. Very good. Suppose we don't remember all the formulas. We will start with basic things. Now, let us find the plane alpha. Okay. And n, vector n here, from properties, we know that it should be the vector AB cross the vector AC, right? What is the vector AB? The difference of B minus A, right? So AB, it will be B minus A, which is 2, -1. Very good. So it would be 0, 2, -1 cross. Let us write AB, write them in this forms, right? It will be I, J. The first vector, which is the vector AB, which is very good, 0, 2, -1. And then the vector AC. What is AC? -1, 0, 0. Very good. -1, 0, 0. Good job. Now, the determinant rule will tell us that if we expand this in I direction, right, it will multiply with the determinant of, when we cross this column and cross this one, it will be very good. Here, right? Subtract J times what? We cross this column and cross this row, it will be very good. And plus K. What is it here? Good job. It will be the vector I here, right? 2, we multiply it this way. Right? The rule is like that. So therefore, the first one, 2 times 0 minus 0 times -1, which will be 0. And what is it here? Yeah, 0 times 0 minus -1 times -1, right? Be careful. I try to write it clear and slow here. The vector K, it will be? Yeah, let us just write 0 here. 0 minus -1 times 2, right? Now, we write it clearly. Here, it will still be 0i minus, this guy becomes -1 here, right? And negative here give us plus 1j. And here, thank you, Aluk, here, right? Or if we write it in this forms, if we can write it this way, 0, 1, 2, right? So we know the vector n here is 0, 1, 2. Very nice. Okay. Now, do you remember how to write the line equation where the line go through the point with a given direction? What is it? If suppose we don't remember. And the origin is right here. suppose we're looking for the equation where the points x, y, z here, right? Okay. From the vector properties, bless you. We know that the properties of vector, let us call it the origin O. We know that OP, we're looking for the vector, let us call it R here. We know that the vector OP plus, what is it here? The vector R, right? It will be triangle formula. What is it? Yeah. Let us name it. Yeah, I think it's better to use the name. Let us call it like Alok suggest here. Let us write PM here. It will be the vector OM, right? And now if we call this guy the vector R here, yeah, I use a wrong notation, right? Or if we write the other way around, I mean, we can definitely write it this way. And let us call it the vector R is the position vector of any point M here belonging to this line, right? Therefore, we have this R is OP, O is the origin of the coordinate, which is, therefore, OP will be 1, 2, 3 here, right? It will be 1, 2, 3. PM here. PM here, the vector this. It will be, it is the parallel vector to the vector n here, right? And remember, if it is parallel to the vector n, we can always write it as t times the vector n here, where t is a number, right? And the vector n here, we know this. It is, what is it? Very good. 0, 1, 2. Yeah. Okay. Where t is in R. This is the forms of, what is it? What is it called? Vector equation, right? The name of them is right. I don't double check if this is the correct name for this. And imagine if we're looking for the vector position will be x, y, and z will be this guy, right? Then the right-hand side, it will be, what is it? Very good. Plus? And from properties of vector, right? Therefore, now, from this, that is why we have it, the equation What is it called? Parametric equation, okay? X will be equal to this. Y will be the second. Z will be the third one here. Right, that is why we have this guy. What is it? 3 to t, right? For t is any number in R. Okay. Suppose we pass the class and after many years we don't remember these names and equations, you can definitely go backward like this from basic properties of vector. Okay. That is parametric equation. And what is next? Symmetric equation. What is it? Okay. And if we solve for t, interesting. What do we have? Suppose, okay. Now, if we solve for t, right? Then we see that t is equal to y minus divided by 1, right? That is from the second equation. And from the third equation, what is it? Over 2, right? And we don't have the x, right? But anyway, from now, we know that it is y minus 2 over 1 is equal to z minus 3 over 2. Is it enough? How can we deal with the x? Go back to the notes. Do you still have it here? Take a look at the notes of the chapter 12. How did we deal with this? Okay. To be honest, I also don't remember that. So go back to the chapter 12. And tell me what you find. I think I left it at home. What do you have? Let me simply go back to the notes. Sorry? Oh, really? Let's see. Here, right? Yeah, simply, we cannot write it as an equality. Yeah. That is why we simply write it this with this. Makes sense, right? Okay. Does it? Anything else? Okay.